Okay, brain, you can do this. Good evening, all. Welcome to Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Do. Nope. There we go. All right, now what were we doing? We were sketching, weren't we? We'll just wait for that ad to roll through. Oh, okay, she was going immediately. Oop. Yeah, you know what? And we should be good to go there. Let's see, where do you put hips on this technically? I guess around there, so... Mm, and I will do this just to make it easier. But I feel like I'll need to turn that off a couple of times while we're doing this. Now, how would the physics work here? That shouldn't be happening. Hmm. Here we go. Oh yeah, and for the tunage tonight at least, we are just testing out a soundtrack to see if it actually gets hit by any big ol' hammers. And vetting a playlist. As you know, occasionally you just need to. Too much. There. Although there does need to be a gap for ouch. Although the belt itself would be coming over. So it's more for my reference than anything. You know what? I should make you a different color. That's fine. There would be a hole about there. Okay. Believe that is our main bit. And I believe the color I wanted to make this was more sitting around that. No. There we go. Okay. Should be the top bit. Nope. I don't think I've actually drawn since I painted my nails last, so guess I need to keep an eye on that. Then we need to continue the patterning on this. And I guess in theory, this doesn't really need to be here. Nope. This one. These need to go in a bit. As does this. Oh, right. Oop. Off. There. I said there. There. Then I guess it doesn't inherently matter where this starts, because we won't really be able to tell from this side. Oh, there we go. There, go down ever so slightly. That way it'll give it some thickness, which we can appreciate. Although I'll have to do that manually over there. Oh, did Ezo right into someone? No. This stuff just got louder. Okay. All right, so checkerboard belt is at least part of the goal. We also need the band, which is supposed to hold this thing down. Or do we want to make it darker? I guess that part doesn't fully matter. Better. Alright, so what do you want to do with up here? Oh. Well. Oh, wait, right, I've got a... There we go. Don't necessarily need the tablet to be as big as we're covering everything, although I guess I should change its color just so it doesn't clash against me. There we go. This is where you come in handy. Oh, oh. Okay. And get you back on. Actually, yeah. Ah, right. Disadvantage of using YouTube. Up. Well, if we're going to be testing out the playlist, might as well see how it does, even with the need to constantly go back to it. Guess I probably should have put the extra lines on a separate layer, shouldn't I? Um, there we go. Oh, mirror tool actually helped me a bit there. Select, invert. Alright. When it comes to stuff like denim, a reference may actually help with denim. Material. Hmm. Does seem to be mostly just splotchy, doesn't it? Hmm. Up. Nope. Am I on the wrong layer? I am. What layers I drawn this on? Up. What else do we want to do with this shirt? Wow, it's a lot louder than usual.
Work lurk bitties.
Thank you for the work, Lurk, Mitchie. Hopefully the evening's treating you well. We're just gonna keep screwing around with this right now, so don't mind me. Oh, right, this part would be going behind the body, technically. Just busy. Oh, I can definitely understand that. Let's see. I guess front clothing top. And then front clothing under. That goes art. We're just kind of screwing around right now with outfit ideas for this. I had one in my head that kind of spawned out of nowhere, so I'm just kind of sketching that on for the moment. Mostly just making sure stuff works for moi. But if work is busy, hopefully it's not too rough. Because I know things can get a little bit hectic when we get close to, I guess it's close to Father's Day, isn't it? Up. Finally dialed down a little bit. Well, that's good at least. I guess people don't necessarily need to shop for Papa all too often. It's probably going to be a little cliche, but yes, I am just going to draw another winter jacket for this one. I like the winter too much. Oh, there we go. Me who still needs to get that a present. Well, I mean, you also work at a place where you might be able to get him a relatively easy present, yeah? Nope, that's going to cover the whole thing. Ah, there's the hole. I need to figure out his prescription strength first. That would definitely help, yeah. You feel like getting him a pair of smart glasses, or feel like getting him a pair of semi-joke glasses? So I could see either working. Here. Nope, that's gonna help. Really? Oh, duh. Because I'm drawing on the back layer. There we go. You're thinking the new Star Wars Ray-Bans that came out? I could definitely see someone enjoying some Star Warsy Ray-Bans. There. Get that up a bit. And then, just for the sake of it, there we go. I don't think I've ever been, personally at least, interested in Ray-Bans. Bump. Let me do a quick search here, though. What are the benefit of these things? I know I've heard of them before, but I never really wanted to dig super deep. Oh, you can get the sunglasses as prescription? Star Wars. Ray-Ban Disney sunglasses. How do you even brand sunglasses? Like, Mickey Mouse doesn't really wear sunglasses. Oh. Continue shopping, please. I was zooming in. Got little signatures on the Mickey Mouse ones. All right. And the Star Wars ones are green. Sometimes it just depends on the era. Gotcha, gotcha. Up. I know that I have a minor bias just because I prefer to wear my glasses all the time. So I generally just wear clip-ons nowadays. But that should be a relatively good Father's Day gift. Prescription sunglasses, at least, should get good use. And I guess when it comes to this, used to have the clip-on ones, then I got transition lenses, never went back. Definitely nothing wrong with getting transition lenses. Oh, thank you. Water bottle's a little bit away from me just because my desk is a little busy during art nights. But ice cold water, gotta love it. Oh, right, I locked that one. I gotta remember the physics of how this is supposed to work. It does look decently large this way, but I do have to think about what would happen if it was closed and how that would fit. I should also probably make the sleeves a slightly different color just so we can see them in the interim. Do should be roughly around here. I don't think I've really bought gifts for my family for a decently long while now. We kind of moved away from doing gift giving just because we're all relatively old now and we don't see the exact point of doing it, which makes holidays relatively easy at least. But it does leave you a little bit behind when it comes to recommending gifts if other people are asking. Hmm. Nope, that's on the upper side. What would the inner side of the jacket be doing here? You're already hanging off. And then you should connect with just the back half. Which would then mean that this Oh, right. The slime drip is in part of this too. That's fine. Um, so if that was brought up, maybe constructurally, I should also make this a slightly different shade, just so I can see it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, at start or at end? Oh, that's her arm. Okay, well, that makes things a little bit easier. How does the front half of the code connect to all this? This should be going over top of up, over top of the sleeve somewhat. The sleeve itself would be covering the arm. I locked transparency. Hey there, Frank. Welcome in. Hopefully you and your cat are having a lovely evening so far. We're just doing some rather wild sketching right now, but how are things on your side? Arguably speaking, I probably should be putting some lines in here instead of just doing the slightly baseless colors. Just so I can actually tell where things are sitting. Just got back from the puppy walk and got some dinner. Oh, nice, you got Friday off. That's always a good thing. Was that just luck of the draw, or did you intentionally take that off? Ooh, that was a massive shoulder crack. State holiday. Oh, it's the state holiday. Okay. Just need to produce one thing. Red slimes can eat a lot of different things to mix them into something else. Well, do we have a holiday in Canada for June? Where is that? Because I know they kind of half forced a lot of holidays to just exist. Maybe June doesn't actually have one. Because I know we got Canada Day. You fix your factory? Yeah. I found the issue for the factory, at least, was my battery production was kind of hard tied to making the Yasin Medicine A's. So when I capped out on Yasin Medicine A's, I stopped making extra cuprium, and after I stopped making cuprium, I stopped making sludge or sewage. And obviously, once you stop making sewage, you stop making batteries. So, whoops. This is what happens when you ignore your outposts. Yeah. But you reminded me, so I went and checked. And lo and behold, that was one of the things I have been meaning to trade. Oh, this is in Japanese. Okay. Don't worry. I fixed it. Still gotta figure out when you're upgrading your hetonite. Getting the hetonite working is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. It requires a lot of space to actually get hetonite going, which I'm still unsure how I feel about that. I know I've got it developing, just mine's not super fast. Nope. I have enough. I'm removing a shear night line for it. Okay. And I think I know where I can fit the removed line, though you don't need it. Never hurts to keep it active, though. Should probably just make a slightly bigger brush for this. Yeah. You produce one more line than I need, so it won't do anything most of the time. We'll use it to cap off gear parts, and those are just about maxed anyhow. Not a bad thing. I know that I usually just keep them processing for, like, the outpost deliveries. Is outpost the right word here? Depot deliveries. I try to keep it relatively active for depot deliveries, at least. You have plenty of mats for depot. Yeah. Doesn't really take much, does it? Yeah, it's a little bit better of a color. Sand leaf and yasin powder overflow goes to storage. Oh, good old sand leaf. Just being a near infinite goddamn resource. Every sheer night line only uses 2/3 of the sand leaf powder. Yeah, that's kind of why you are incentivized, at least, to store some of that, just so that way you can use it for, like, an extra line somewhere else, since generally speaking, sand leaf powder is a near infinite resource anyhow. Oh. Trying to think, because I think I used some extra sand leaf for... God, what do I use extra sand leaf for? I think it's for the dense originium cubes, is where I put the extra sand leaf powder from all the sheer night production. 2 girls came in and bought smart glasses for their father. Hey, I mean, you had a good idea, Mitchie. So that's not inherently a bad thing that other folks are doing it. I mean, the real danger in this case, did they buy all of the smart glasses in the store? So that way you can't, like, buy a pair for dear old dad. It's just I did not have that much funds as a kid. Oh, yeah. To be fair, I don't think many of the adults nowadays really have a crap ton of money either, but I think some are just slightly more better off than others. I think at most my parents, when I was at least a younger person, maybe got like a cup or a card and a hug and maybe doing the chores for them that day. All right, so that was at least roughly so far the idea that I've had in my head. But how do I brush it up a little bit? There's no way this is safe from copyright. Oh well, this is testing this playlist anyway. Kind of do with you, because you're open in the back. Well, I mean, I guess the obvious thing to do here. Nope, too big. There we go. And just need to draw a heart with a symmetry tool. It can't be that hard, brain. Hmm. No. Might be a different kind of pattern that we can put in this instead. Oh, nope. Da, da, da. Definitely can't show this on stream. Looks like it is kind of just a cutout cardigan situation. Okay. Okay. Well, and considering you are a wiggly little slime ball who tends to stay on the skinnier side, let's not make that as extreme. Yeah, there's a little bit of jiggle room there. If this is going to be the embodiment of my unsay-so-ness, then I'm gonna draw it in an image that I very much am unsay-so with. Cute. I guess both as in I would do this and I would be done as this specifically. I just get like a regular cardigan just so I can duplicate this pattern. Uh, you know, you need to make a few more not so say so models for yourself. Well, you mentioned before that you haven't been active on the unsay so sites in a while, so that could be something you did. At least there. Well, no time like the present, I guess, is the more common phrasing people tend to use for that. Oh, copy. Okay. You've got the pattern beside, so you can follow it. So if we start with that, then we would have that. This part doesn't come out as far. And you know what? Before I get too in depth, why don't we just do that as a clip layer? We'll make it a little easier to fiddle with later when we need to. There we go. I don't stream on the not say so or the unsay so sites, but I do have accounts there because I do like to try and support friends when I can, even if I'm not very talkative when I try. Oh, they also come in like that. Boy. Yeah, lurking is usually pretty good. I swapped the style of the curve. It's meant to go pretty much beside each other there. Coming from a lurker myself. Yeah. My brain just cannot follow this pattern very well. Go back to here. Just start it over. It's a relatively straight pattern, so you can arguably just draw guidelines so that way you can stick within it. Hmm. I think that works. All right, so there. Honestly, I just need to remember to draw the cursed S from at least my generation's younger days. Um, I'll get this eventually. Yeah, could look worse. I'll keep the guidelines on, because I am silly. Okay. That is the wrong brush type. We make that a smidge brighter. Oh, that one's not a closed off loop. Ah, there we go. I guess this is kind of sketching it out anyways, so I don't need to make this the cleanest thing in existence. But if I clean it up a little bit now, that may help me. So, fuck my laziness. Let's just go for it. God, what was brain trying to do? Okay. And then I guess I should just continue it down there. Oh, not a closed off loop. Ah. There we go. Alright, so that goes down to there. And then aside from that, there would be, I guess, additional channels is the best way of phrasing it. Okay. And I guess I'll need to do a little bit of it on that side as well, but these are all closed open loops, aren't they? Up. Nope. Oh. I did a big whoopsie. Up. Okay. And I probably should fix those. There. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Do. You're acting kind of weird. You're being just a little too nice. That's not phrasing you necessarily want to hear from someone. Hmm. Complextro. Okay, it's not a category I've heard of before. Just sounds like dubstep to me, if I'm being completely honest. Mm, that should probably arc out a little bit more here. This is why I should have drawn the solid lines first. Actually, that's smarter. Up. Oh, silly screen. Little bit in. There. Ah, there's the ad break. Here we go. And to all the lurkers who are out there, just make sure to stay hydrated and fed. It do still be the summer, so it's not exactly the easiest time for people to comfortably vibe, at least. Oh, doesn't need to go out that far. Getting a lot of pings on Discord, too. There are a lot of people just on tonight? Streamer support. Oh boy, that just begs to be a Twitter that just wants attention. Or a blue sky, rather, that wants attention. Oops. Right, brain wanted to check Discord. Why am I getting dinged so much? Because everyone's going live on a Thursday. Yeah, that would explain a good bit. close but not touching. Okay. Oh god, I was using our brush. Up. Please undo that so that way I can see what I'm doing. And this is more so just to connect it up. Oh, open loop. I left a couple spots open. That being dark probably doesn't help very much. And then these lines. Yeah, that's definitely not right. Eh, this playlist better be worth it. Nope. I guess the channels aren't really that different. I also need to stand up, so I'm going to take advantage of this break. Well, this is some funky sounding drum and bass. Hello again. Hopefully everyone's taking care of themselves. And I don't know why I didn't clock before, but I probably should be drawing this pattern underneath where the jacket is sitting. There we go. And at least during the break, apparently there was another round of pre-orders available for some of the Toho Fumos. There's only one that I'd want in that batch, but I'm not 100% certain if I'd want to actually shoot for it. Just classical Junko and her extremely angry ways. Granted, her anger is justified. If you're gonna have people living on the moon kill your one child, it's not really the best of times when your only emotion after that point tends to be angy. Upgraded package ramen kind of night for you? Ooh. How exactly did you upgrade your ramen? Did you use not American cheese for it? Well, welcome in, Nano. Hopefully the evening's treating you well. And welcome to Jude is flailing a little bit. Ow. Well, nothing wrong with getting some cheddar on the ramen. I'm assuming then it is the bulldog. Right, layer. Can't really remember the name off the top of my head right now. It's something else. Gotcha. A moment is allowed. Shinramyun. Okay. Is this another brand of, oh god, it's too spicy, or is it relatively well balanced? It is very spicy. Gotcha. But you don't use the whole spice pack. You put in black ricin to compensate for that. Sorry, I need to compensate for the spiciness of my ramen by making it a different kind of spice level. Hoisin? Hoisin. Hoisin is fish sauce, I think? Am I right on that? Hmm. That's a little better. Basically, Fo's condensed black sauce. Gotcha. It's sweet, so it tends to cut out the spice. Well, it's a good way to balance it. Sweet does tend to be the answer to that, at least. Oh, right. That one can go away. Make sure we get a nice little bottom bit to this sweater. Oh, no, that's just going to do the whole thing. Up. I can't say that I've done too much sweetness when it comes to my ramen. I do tend, remember your layers, Jude. I do tend to focus just more on savory when I am trying to shenanigan my ramen. Gotta change to phone so you can use earphones instead of headphone. Ah. Oh. Oh, right, because it's close enough to actually change that now. Eh. Sweating and headphone is disgusting. Yeah. Unfortunate, but true. That's why I generally try to avoid well, exercising with certain headphones, because that tends to get relatively messy. Now, what would we want to do with all the fuzz. That's not on the same layer as that. That's also not on that layer. Up. Oh, this one doesn't actually say what language it's in. I want to say some type of Spanish, but you were saying I got you like savory for packaged ramen? Well, more so for like ramen cups specifically, since I do tend to. Maybe a green coat is overkill. Maybe black coat might be better here. Hold on. At least when it comes down to what I like, it tends to be more on like the sour side. And then that little front bit. And then the back sprite. Acidic type of dishes then? Yeah, a little bit. Also, I was wrong. The song is apparently some kind of French. The tolerance isn't that high. Hold on. There you go. Because I know at least the cup ramen that I usually end up getting tends to have like mushrooms and green onion and I think there's one other semi-acidic tart thing in there that's just not coming to mind at the moment. Oh, right, the inner fluff. Um, do that there. I think that helps a little bit. And then I guess those two. Hmm. Oh, right, fluff on the color of this thing too. I put that here, right? Oop. I clicked outside, didn't I? That should work. Oh. Well, barely wearing this thing at all right now, and I approve of that. Let's see. Would there be any ways of styling the winter coat a bit better? I guess pockets? This... There. Squish it down a little bit. Is a technique to add texture to clothes, Jason would surely know. True. I guess texture may not be the best wording for that. It's more so just physicality and detail work. Yes, I already know streamer support liked my thing, second phone. I guess with winter coats like these, they usually have like cutoffs on the top half of them, which, considering the construction of this right now, would end up looking like... It would sit roughly about here right now, but considering how the coat is shenaniganed, it's also going to be rather difficult to see. Admittedly, I'm kind of freehanding this coat without having a perfect idea of how it would look if you wore it properly. It would need some level of clasp on it as well. Because otherwise this is just a coat you throw on with no way of actually doing up. So how would I add connectors onto this? For winter coats like this, buttons or zippers tend to be relatively applicable. This would probably be around the time where I take off the mirror tool, actually. Where did I put you? Wrong brush. So that leaves... I believe most people know what the pop buttons kind of usually look like on winter coats. Liam. Come on, brain. You know how to draw a circle. Is this Nightcore? Um, it certainly sounds like it. I kind of just grabbed a playlist because it marked itself as copyright-free music for YouTubers and Twitch streamers, and we're kind of vetting that a little bit today to see if Twitch mutes it at all, and then exporting it to YouTube to see if YouTube catches it at all. Because since I don't have monetization on YouTube, I don't really have to worry about getting bonked just yet. And at least the way this playlist has been going so far, it is pretty much all types of EDM just shoved into a playlist with 1,000 songs in it, apparently. And I generally like rolling the EDM bucket anyhow, so it's fine. There. Although, it just says color base. That's not helpful. Okay. And then these would be the pops that go on top of the other bits. Okay. Hmm. What else can I do with this? I guess just the extra lining to define where all the wrinkles are with the coat being that squished up on the arms. So we got pop connectors, we've got pockets like all women's clothing should be getting, but doesn't because capitalism sucks. We've got wrinkly sleeves, we've got little scrungly bits to hold the sleeves onto there. Replicating that will be a little bit of a... Well, actually, no, it kind of won't be, now that I'm thinking about it. Replicating that won't be much of a problem because the winter coat kind of covers the sides and the back no matter what. Uh, but I do need to draw out each piece anyhow, so we'll make it work. Should probably save before I get too far. Time is anyways. About 20 to 10. Maybe one other thing I should change just to make sure that it fits a little bit. There. Oh, no. Didn't want to get rid of side face. Oh, it's there. There we go. Where the hell did I put the pony? Oh, put the scrunchie on there. Okay. And then that one doesn't show the scrunchie. Okay, so let's draw this in order of operations. Let's see. Okay, and look at that. Can you actually see that on stream? No, you can't, but I am organizing my layers a bit more properly this time around. Which I kind of needed to, considering how some of these things are sitting. Alright, order of danger. Side facing. Shoot. Side facing. I guess first things first would be the hoodie, or the turtleneck, Virgin Killer sweater thing, which will go onto the body and underneath that bit of hair. Although it should be going over top of that bit of hair. So I might have to do a little bit of shenanigans. Shoot. Turtle Virgin Killer. We leave the back open because I would like to at least draw her with multiple arms out occasionally. And I guess this needs to be scrunched in where the belt's going to be. And the belt's not super thick, so there. Okay. Now, how do I draw the collar both below all of this and then above that? This part can be on this layer still because it'll be going behind that hair. And then the rest of the turtleneck needs to go on top of base hair. Okay. That is about the form that we would need. Then we need to fix back here a little bit. I need to do it on the right layer. Okay. And then this will end up being the belt, so okay. That's where that would sit. The most part. Any extra tweaking that needs to take place would be the Ring of Destiny. Which will probably get covered up here anyways, but I should draw the facsimile just to know where it is. Just in case we take the winter coat off. There we go. We needs to see the sun. We can just sit here in the cabin watching the snowfall outside for eternity. Okay. And then when it comes to this setup, the belt would be both loose from the ring on this side. It goes under, up, and out. So it goes under. There. Oops. Oh. Yeah, that's not what we're looking to do. I'm assuming I left a hole over here. Yep. Okay. This goes up and over. Oh, hey there, Omega. Welcome in. Yeah, I guess a drink would probably help. But welcome in. Thank you for the hydration. I feel like I should see if I can roll like a random chance for that to be just regular water or slime. That would be slightly funny. But hopefully the evening's treating you alright. We are just getting some shenanigans done here by sketching some things out, as you do. Guess I can go up a little bit still. Nickelodeon slime drop. Official shenanigans or off the books sort of shenanigans? Official shenanigans, at least. Trying to design an outfit for the alt self, so I think it's coming along all right. I'm getting the things in here that I need, although I may change the color of the dirt down there, because it doesn't really go with the rest of the clothing, and it more just looks like a darkened part of her body. Did I put the dirt in its own layer? Dude. Progress, though. Yeah, making pretty good progress. We at least got like a rough sketch of what the front of it looks like, so now we've got to replicate that on the back and the sides. And I'm not going to be lazy this time because I put a giant fuck off coat on it and it would cover 90% of what we need to draw. And no, this time I'll actually do it properly. Even if my brain really doesn't want to. But my brain needs to fuck off because I want to do actually decent work on this. And yeah, we'll be jamming a little bit with a... It says it's copyright free? Why can't I do that on multiple? Um, if I drop the luminosity by like 50? No, I wanted a negative there. Do, do, do. But yeah, since this is going to be based on me, it is going to be based semi on what I would wear anyways. And I wear a lot of blacks and grays. That. Hmm. I guess when you're looking at black denim, it tends to be fairly dark in the grand scheme of things. As one who does keep black denim on hand. Well, denim is good material. It is. Unnecessarily warm at times, but I think that's just me and my overactive furnace of a body. Might just have to redo the pattern for the denim. Because that denim kind of has multitudes of shades in it. Which you can't just completely fuck with. Need to have a little bit of ingenuity in that front. Oh, oh, it is doing it, but it's going to be a little hard to tell with black. But I think that works. With the code, it'll make sense. Without the code, it'll make sense. Anyways, let's not get too distracted by that. Up and bop. We are working on the side-facing profile, and I am trying to figure out what the fuck to do with this belt. Yum. Should work. And then we do... I guess we need to do the patterning on this, don't we? Don't know if there's an easy way to do that here. Oh, right. No, don't lock it. Oh, good. I'm not chipping my nail polish with how aggressive I'm being with my pen. That's good. All right, so with how this is meant to be sitting at this angle, lock that, grab the black lines. Little up. And then up. And yes, I like checkerboard patterns. My lanyard for my keys has that on it. And if I could find a belt with that, then I probably would be wearing it a good bit too. Okay. Gamma. Okay. And then same as before, this part doesn't need to exist here. And then we copy that for the moment. Gonna assume that flash means the ad is starting. No, this is in thirds. I need to go a little lower. Goddamn Pride Month debuff. I cannot draw a straight line to save my life. Eh. There. Okay, and where that would come out would be roughly here. And then, nope. Oh, thank you, locked transparency. You were trying to calculate that, but decided, nope, wait. It's not a part of the belt. Not needed. Okay. There's the obnoxious checkerboard belt. I'm putting an indent in one of my fingers with how hard I'm drawing. Oh, I dented one of my nails doing that too. Oh, damn, I am being aggressive. Okay. Maybe you don't need to press as hard. This isn't exactly a complicated procedure. Let's see. I need one bit to go behind this. Up. Belt. Okay. And then we grab that, we make it a little darker. And then... Oh, I did not block. Yeah, that's fine. And then this bit goes behind. Belts thankfully have a little bit of depth to them, so we can get away with that. Then you are the bottom bitch layer, so we need one more layer beneath you to be an even bottomier bitch. There we go. Then I guess a little bit of it needs to go up on here. Okay. And then I guess the little silver pokey bit needs to come out of here too. Won't be noticeable, but it's good to have it there. Oh. All right, belt. With the way that the winter jacket sits, I probably should frame that out a little bit first, but get that. Get that on. Then get the little bit that is down here on. Feels very weird not having the utility of the mirror tool, but we make it work. Okay. And then this is also used for the stitching. Which means there will be a bit of a layer here. Here we go. And then to figure out how to do the cardigan nonsense. Not sure if we'll get to actually doing the entire thing tonight, but we already got one angle primarily done, so I think we're kind of good in that department at least. Has my CC not been active for a while? Yeah, my CC hasn't been active for a while. Holy shit. Hey buddy, you good? Closed captioning. Where did you go, buddy? So we good now? There we go. Okay. Not sure why that clocked out earlier, but don't do that again. I would appreciate having the audience who don't necessarily have the volume on have half a chance of knowing what I'm talking about. Hi! Hello there. Hopefully the evening is running well. We're just doing a little bit of sketching. And thank you for the quack. I still need to draw like a duck to appear whenever that goes off. Coughing your brains out. Oh geez, that's not good. Assuming this isn't like a soup would fix this kind of problem. A Jude duck. Unfortunately speaking, we're already juggling personas between the robot and the slime. A Jude duck would be overkill. Although I could draw Jim. Jim is a duck that I have, technically. Slime duck. I mean, that's possible. Jim was a warlock, so he probably could have a little bit of body morphing going on. Maybe after we finish this Julia setup, I can draw Jim just as like a pseudo mascot to have. Jim, my lawful evil duck warlock, who could only speak to people telepathically through a magic hat that he obtained by killing a goblin. Was it the one he specifically? No. Okay. The story of Jim is a little bit funky dunk. He was a warlock beforehand, but he didn't really have like an amazing amount of power to him. But they eventually came across a goblin caravan shop kind of situation going on. And there was the main goblin who had a hat that gave him a boost to his intelligence, which let him like talk and sell and trade with people along the road. My asshole of a duck kind of just walked up to the goblin, honked at him, and then stole the hat. And because of the nature of this hat, it was a semi-sentient one, which is partly why the goblin was able to get away with stuff. Jim and the hat had a bit of a discussion, and while Jim didn't get the intelligence boost, he was allowed to feed magic items to the hat to make it and him stronger by comparison. That campaign did not get very far, but the fact that I had a duck who was just potentially the end boss for that story, if we were allowed to continue playing it for a long period of time, was fantastic. And it was just a duck with a top hat and a bow tie. He couldn't speak unless he was telepathically communicating with people, so he just honked. And his main attack was Eldritch Quack. I had fun with Jim. He wasn't the main character of that playthrough, but he was the one who I could actually do the most with. Oi. So one of these days I'll have to draw a semi-demented warlock duck. So I've been meaning to do that for some time now. Alright, now the fun of figuring out how to draw this cardigan-esque material. We are going to have fun with this, but this will probably take us until the end of stream, so... Oh. Hopefully everyone can just enjoy the vibe session for now, while I figure out how to do this properly. Because unfortunately, Jude will need to concentrate a little bit. Considering we're on a side view, this strip won't be very large. And then the strips will just get larger as we go across. Do have to stay relatively close to each other, though. Right, YouTube. I can at least stop the ads, but I can't remove the "Are you still listening?" Keeps me on my toes, at least. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Also, I am vetting the current playlist, so if there is anything that sounds weird in here, I am just keeping an ear out for it. Um, but I like listening to most forms of EDM, so I'm just kind of vibing with this in my own head. Well, we're at least getting the lines going. Thankfully, you guys don't have to see the video, because that thing's flashing like a motherfucker. And not in a good way. Oh well. We'll get to see in a little bit to see how much of the VOD actually, how much of the how much of the VOD actually gets muted. And then I'll kick it over to YouTube and see how much of it gets copyright stricken or copyright flagged there. Just to see if these guys are actually lying through their teeth. There. Nope. Although one thing I can comment on at least for what's been happening today, it is really fucking windy today. Wasn't really expecting whatever. I don't remember the difference between Raijin and Fujin at the moment, but wasn't expecting a wind god to just be existing today for no fucking reason. At least Thursday, though. One more day until the weekend starts, and then we can rest and relax a little bit in what I assume to be a little bit of rain. And at least the nice pitter patter of rain on the window tends to be a calming enough experience. There we go. I think that works. Except for that. A little too pointy. There. And am I a little bit insane for going for a cardigan pattern on this? Slightly. Do I mind? Also slightly. Do I prefer it? Yes. Cardigans are comfy as fuck. And if I could wear them year-round, I definitely would. Oh, is Saul still going? He might be going till about 11. What about Izo? Because I know he's been going for a while. Okay, no, Izo already hopped off. I will keep that window for who I want to raid into later. I did not realize Twitch actually gave you a subsection for potential collabs based on people you could knock on, if possible. It is interesting that it's suggesting so many people. Oh, but since it's art night, we'll raid art for art later. Nope. Actually, before I do this one, I probably should do here. Nope, still need to go in a good bit. Connect that up. Oh, you're not allowed to crash on me, clip. Alright, yeah, you can fit 2 more. Gonna get very squished up there, but that's alright. There we go. Oh, that was a shoulder crack. That's probably a good sign that I was focused a bit too hard. Oot. And then as long as I did this right, that's an immediate no. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty big ass hole there. Good. Oof. Let's clean up some of these a little bit. Maybe don't make it look like a cat tore up the sweater before she got a hold of it, please. Now, hole there. Up. Oh yeah, right, I left one that was just on the edge. That's not smart. Okay, that is selecting everything that I need. Gucci. There we go. Cardigan and belt. I guess let's just sketch out the skirt and then go raid someone. We won't have enough time to make a sizable dent in the winter coat anyhow. Oot. Clothing. Belt can honestly just go out there. Thank you for the hydration. Definitely need it. Not quite the warmest part of the season yet, but I am no fan of the winter, or I'm no fan of the summer. She's gonna catch me lying directly on stream. Me, not a fan of winter. You. Oh, I should organize that bit better. Up. I need to see base color of jet, please. Thank you. Bop. All right, get rid of front facing. Back to side facing. Give me the clothing. Give me this, which I will shove into a dirt folder. All right. This doesn't go down super low because these don't exactly have fun organs. They are just making things as they need them because they are balls of slime. So this is mostly just a fashion statement. There we go. A little bit of a dumpy, but that's okay. You gotta store your extra mass somewhere. And if you're going to, you may as well make it make a little bit of sense. You do not have to apologize for that. True, yeah. Although I am Canadian, so we tend to apologize for like anything. It's pride, fat asses for everyone. True dat. Good. There we go. And does it look a little funky without arms? Yes. But that is roughly the idea. Big eraser. There we go. All right, now we just gotta add the dirt texturing, which will be splatter brush on a clip layer. And then we just kind of Moon Knight throw a random shit at the wall here until it looks all right. But genes are subtle, so which is fine. I guess there technically needs to be a little bit of a lip down here too, doesn't there? Then turn texturing back on. Okay. Now we need stitching. Just follow what we did below. And then from what I remember on the front facing one, there was a line up about there. So that would be about here. Okay. And then I believe I put that at around 45%. And then One more just to put some light in those stitched areas, because those tend to get frayed a little bit faster. And then darker. Because there tends to also be a little bit of a shadow on the stitch end. And look at that, it's just about 11 o'clock too. Guess next time we work on this, we'll have to figure out that winter jacket from the side profiling. That's going to be a bit of a mess, but since that goes over top of everything... Oh. Jacket. Because this technically will just go over top, it would basically be covering up, like... Oh, right, wrong brush. Big brush, just so we can actually show how ridiculous drawing everything underneath it was for this. Roughly about that. This is when you know you're getting into character sheet shenaniganry. And I guess also technically there would be the back half as well, which would sit about here. Which would also just kind of come up and above and around. This is when you know you're having fun. Alrighty then. Well, hopefully everyone had a lovely evening. It's always nice to actually be in enough of an art mood to get stuff going on this. Cute. I am just going to find someone to raid really quickly. Up. That wasn't a raid, was it? No, that was just a lemma thing. I need to find some kind of stimmy device at some point. I probably need it, but brain is just kind of defunct at the moment in terms of how to make things work up there. Let's see. I left an extra window open for this, didn't I? Sorry, streamer, I'm already following. I just want to do a quick double check on who's arting right now. Who else am I following that's doing art shenaniganry? Froggy's doing art, but my rules generally don't let me raid that high. And I doubt tonight's any exception. Could go into chapel. Bro's doing pixel art, but it's usually a good reference point. Yeah, it should work. And I can just do this here. Raid 1. Thank you, Omega, for the extra drink. I'll take it over while we raid. Oh, I have volume on there. That's fine. Now, how do I spell his name again? I put the underscore in the wrong spot. Okay. Believe that's it. Dismiss that. Yay, that is the right person. Alrighty. Well, rest easy, everyone. I'll be back again tomorrow with either art or cyberpunk, depending on what mood I'm in after work. But make sure to eat something, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk with y'all later. But for now, bye-bye. And now that button works.